Book 1 Chapter 13 On Urvashi and Pururava. Suta said, O Maharshis, when King Sudyumna had gone up to the heavens, the religious King Pururava, endowed with great beauty and many qualities, and able to please the minds of his subjects, began to govern his kingdom well according to dharma, with his heart intent on governing his people. Nobody knew what his counsel was, but he was very clever at discerning others' counsels. He was always highly energetic, and his lordly power was immense. The 4 methods of warfare: 1. Conciliation, 2. Giving gifts, 3. Sowing dissensions, and 4. War, were fully under his control. He ensured that his subjects practiced religion according to Varnashrama, the system of colors and stages of life, and thus he began to govern his kingdom. Pururava, the lord of men, performed various sacrifices with an abundance of dakshinas, sacrificial fees, and also gave generously in various charities, causing great wonder and astonishment. His extraordinary beauty and qualities, liberality, and good nature, along with his unbounded wealth and prowess, often made the Apsara Urvashi, celestial nymph, think of him, and she desired him to satisfy her. Some time passed, and the proud Urvashi had to descend to the earth due to a curse pronounced on her by a Brahman. She chose King Pururava as her husband, considering him to be endowed with all the qualities. She then addressed the king and proposed the following contract. O king, who gives honor to everyone, I entrust these 2 young sheep to your care and leave them in your custody. Kindly look after them, and in doing so, my honor will be preserved by you. O king, I will take only ghee daily as my food and nothing else. And there is one more condition, O king. Let me not see you naked, except when we are engaged in sexual intercourse. O king, I say this truly, if there is any breach in this contract, I will instantly leave you and go away. The king accepted this contract with Urvashi. Urvashi, too, remained there in accordance with the above contract, and with the intent to complete the duration of her curse. During this time, the king became deeply fascinated by Urvashi's love, and grew so attached to her that he abandoned all his duties and dharma, spending many years indulging in his enjoyment of Urvashi. The king's mind was so deeply absorbed in her that he could not bear to be without her, even for a moment. Thus, many years passed until one day, Indra, the lord of the Devas, noticed Urvashi's absence and asked the Gandharvas, saying, O Gandharvas, go and steal the 2 young sheep from the palace of Pururava at the right time, and then bring Urvashi back here. My Nandana garden is now void of all its beauty without Urvashi. Bring the lady here by any means necessary. Thus instructed by Indra, Vishwavasu and other devas went to Pururava's palace. During the darkness of the night, while Pururava was engaged in sexual intercourse with Urvashi, they stole away the 2 young sheep. As they were being carried away through the sky, the sheep cried out so piteously that Urvashi heard them, mistaking their cries for those of her 2 sons. Angrily, she turned to the king and said, O king, the contract I made with you is now truly broken. It was my implicit trust in you that has led to this misfortune befalling me. Look, the thieves are stealing away the 2 sheep, as if they were my sons. How can you lie here asleep like a helpless woman? Alas, I am ruined by having an impotent husband who vainly boasts of his prowess. Where are my 2 young sheep today, which are dearer to me than my own life? Seeing Urvashi wailing, King Pururava, the lord of the universe, ran after the Gandharvas instantly, as if devoid of all sense, completely naked. The Gandharvas then cast rays of lightning into the room, and Urvashi, preparing to leave, saw the king naked. The Gandharvas left the 2 young sheep behind and went away. The exhausted king, still in his naked state, brought the 2 sheep back to his house. Then Urvashi, upon seeing her husband naked, immediately departed to Devloka. Watching Urvashi leave, the king wailed bitterly, his heart filled with immense grief. Then, deeply bewildered by the loss of Urvashi, with his senses out of control and blinded by passion, the king wandered through various countries, crying and expressing his sorrow. Thus, while wandering across the globe, he eventually arrived at Kurukshetra and saw Urvashi. With a gladdened face, he said, O beloved, wait, just wait for a moment. My mind is entirely absorbed in you, innocent and completely devoted to you. So, you ought not to abandon me in such a dire and difficult time. O Devi, for your sake, I have travelled very far. O beautiful one, the body that you once embraced will now, forsaken by you, fall here and be devoured by crows, wolves, and other carnivorous animals. Seeing the king, tired, stricken with passion, greatly distressed, and wailing with a sorrowful heart, Urvashi spoke, "O king, you are certainly a senseless man. Where has your extraordinary knowledge gone now? O king, do you not understand that the pure, unalloyed love of a woman cannot exist for any other, just as the love of a wolf cannot be directed toward any man? Therefore, earthly men should never place their trust, even a little, in women or thieves. So, return to your palace and enjoy the pleasures of your kingdom. Do not let your mind drown further in sorrow." King Pururava, though brought to his senses by Urvashi, remained so deeply captivated by her love that his heart found no consolation. Instead, he felt an indescribable pain, bound tightly by his love for Urvashi. O Munis, I have thus described to you the character of Urvashi. This story is detailed in the Vedas, but I have presented it here in brief. Thus ends the 13th chapter of the first book, on the story of Urvashi and Pururava, in the Mahapuranam Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, composed of 18,000 verses by Maharshi Vedavyasa.